Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Diane Lang. I'm the owner and founder of Wisdom of the Akashics and RiseAwake with Diane. I'm a Akashic record consultant, a twin flame mentor, and intuitive channel. And really, intuitive channeling for me is about channeling higher self information to you. I'm going to do a video here to see if we get this streaming thing going. I'd like to do more videos here live. It says I'm live, so I hope that's correct. And I will do a bit of a talk regardless, and hope if nothing else, it'll record. I just wanted to try something here. Huh, that worked. Isn't that cool? So, is this, you want my chin right on it. Anyways, so you can reach me through my Facebook group, private Facebook group, which is Rise Awake with Diane. And also I'm Soul Sista, S-I-S-T-A Wisdom on Fiverr. And I do quite a bit of my work and my sessions and my offerings are on Fiverr. However, I do let people know that if you find something on Fiverr and you book with me directly, I actually discount you, because Fiverr charges me quite hefty fees and they charge you fees as well. So we can bypass those. But if you want to go read about me and see my 5-star ratings there and stuff like that, you can. And it's Soul Sista Diane. And, oh, sorry, Soul Sister Wisdom. And I'll just throw that in here for 1 minute. That's the name that I operate under Fiverr. So most of this channel was built around twin flame videos, twin flame teachings, understanding the journey, navigating it. And I thank all of you who came to those. I know the channel at one point, I think it made it to well over 30,000 views, and I was always so humbled by that. And I stepped away from it for quite a while, but I also stepped away from doing any videos, in part through some health challenges. And what's not uncommon in the twin flame journey is that we have to take our own step back sometimes. And lots of things changed for me over the last couple years. I've had a very big move. My twin and I don't even live in the same town anymore. And if you do watch my videos, you know that we would run into each other everywhere all day. Didn't matter. We could call each other and telepathically find each other on a corner in town. It used to be the wildest thing. And then I never saw him for literally a year. And then I saw him one day and I started to see him repetitively again in the same way, only this time he was always with his family. And I had hardly ever saw him with his family. And I saw him thousands of times because he used to go up and down in front of my house, sometimes 6, 10, 12 times a day, and not in a stocky way, in a way that, because he worked where he could take that route to go by my house, and that's what he did. And when I would be in my videos and I would smile and light up, and people, got to the point where they'd realize, oh, he just drove by, I'd be like, yep. Because I could actually call him in, and sometimes it was very, very rarely more than 4 minutes before, 12 to 14 minutes before he would end up in my sphere somewhere at a corner, past the house. It just was, so yeah, it was, I don't want to go there again even. It was just a lot. So what I was talking about for this journey is the messages that are coming through. I think I have someone live. Hello. So I just did a little bit of explanation in the first few minutes there and talked a bit about my journey and a little bit more about myself. And then I just wanted to get into a bit of a video about messages from the Akashic field for twin flames, because what I'm finding is that people have a lot of set beliefs about what twin flames are, what people do. People look for twin flames. People want to be a twin flame. And, and I'm of the mind that your soul really needs to step up in consciousness and awakeness if you want a twin flame journey, because they are not for the lighthearted. They challenge us to the max, 555 on the video. They bring out our greatest mirror. They'll bring us our deepest love. They'll teach us our highest lessons. They'll challenge us the most. There'll be very high telepathic stuff. The separation can be like a body part is missing. That's what it can feel like. Some piece of you is actually missing without them. And that's not the case for the average person in the average relationship. Most relationships aren't even formed from a healthy soul level. They're formed out of physical need. A husband, wife, sperm, womb, half the rent, caregiver, things like that. And one of the reasons why relationships in general have trouble working, period, right? Because we don't really bring our soul to our relationship. We bring our egoic needs to a relationship. So when you work within the Akashic records, and when you work inside of the field and people's fields, and you understand the journey and the bigger picture, that for twin flames, it's really important to understand that if you want to kind of really embrace that journey, you have to embrace your mirror. You have to embrace your other self. You have to embrace looking in the eyes of somebody that you're willing to unconditionally love without need for a specific outcome. Meaning you can't love them less because they haven't left their relationship yet. And if you can easily, you may very well not have a twin flame. If these videos are I'm living in the country now, and I don't always stream that well when they go to actually load. Just put them on listen mode. Don't look. People say you move around a lot, which I do, but I also have pins and rods in my back, and that's partly why. So I don't sit still well. Let's just put it that way. So, you have to say, who am I in this? And how am I willing to show up? And are the expectations all towards my twin flame? What is my contribution? I've worked with people who were frustrated with their twin's connection to them, but they were in a relationship that they weren't going to leave. And so they're telling their twin, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. And then frustrated that their twin doesn't keep them at the forefront of their mind. That's not very reasonable. So you have to marry the physical story and then the etheric soul story, and then be well in the middle of it, right? So that you recognize that a lot of people immediately, when they find their twin and they have that initial whoof that happens to us and all of that, we usually have love at first sight. Very, very often, I shouldn't say usually, it's very, very common to have love at first sight, or some sort of literally whack you over the head experience. And then it's like you want to go into this rush of activity, and that person's with someone and they have a family, and they're not going to just up and leave them. And ultimately, most of us wouldn't want somebody that just up and left really easily, even if the relationship wasn't very good. One of my teachers always said that when you are able to leave a relationship in integrity, you can sleep with yourself afterwards. right? You can stay peaceful in your own head when you went to your spouse and you talked about things aren't working, and you talked about what could we do differently, or why I want to, look at, people are scared, they plan their escape, and then they get mean and angry and nasty in it, and then wonder why there's like a version of a shit show that comes from that. No soul wants that done to them. No soul. Right? And I've been with somebody who left their marriage and then was wondering, what they should do. And I said, have you given it, like, did you even talk? Did you talk about it? Have you formed a separation understanding? And I said, no. And I said, well, go back until you have, and he did. And he stayed for a couple years. Sorry, this is a separate story. There's two people I'm thinking of right now. One of my friends that didn't know if he could live with himself. And I said, well, if you have to give yourself that extra try, but go in it with conversation, go in it with honesty and openness, willingness to look at all of it and say, if we don't work, give it a time frame. We'll give it 6 months. We'll do counseling and etc. You have to let that person leave their own way, because if they leave in some sort of a, crap show, it's just going to reflect in anything that you want forward from them anyways. And people can't stay in an egoic place in a twin flame for very long, because it'll become a crash and burn if you do. If you're trying to get them to fill you egoically versus your soul's willing to look at what this is about and why would this, what can we gather from this and what can we embrace and how can we expand who we are and grow and love and be more loving and all of that, is that you have to look at those things. You have to be willing to allow someone to finish their soul stories, their soul agreements, their commitment to make sure their family's okay before they jut off somewhere. And we would want a partner that did that. Now, if you're in a really bad situation and you're unhealthy and you're ready to leave and you know it and you have to get out for anything, I'm not saying don't take those actions. Just understand there'll always be an action and a consequence accordingly. If you're unsafe, get out, period. Right? People live in the fantasy world of what they think a twin flame is going to bring with them, and they don't want to be any different themselves. It doesn't work very well. Your twin doesn't make a commitment to come here and entertain your lower self. That's not what they're here with us for. That's not what we would simultaneously find ourselves on the earth together. It's so that we can feed our lower selves. This brings your highest self to, this is if depending on what you believe a twin story is or a twin is, it is a portion, it is your masculine or feminine mirror version of you. Like in your yin yang, for example, one masculine, one feminine, and in the physical, there's one masculine and one feminine. Even two feminines will have a masculine and a feminine. Even two males will have a masculine and a feminine energy. That's what makes them their balance. So it doesn't matter in terms of that regard. What matters is that you understand that person is your like other soul imprint, so to speak. And that's why the unconditional love can be both the most amazing thing, some ways the most easy thing, and then in other ways the most difficult thing. It's not easy. It's not easy to embrace unconditionally loving somebody that you have to see with their family, for example. But if you love them the way your soul truly loves them, you accept their choices where they're at. You accept where they're at. And that's the kind of thing that could come up in a reading that helps people get clear on some things. Is we tend to try to think in a box. And I'll tell you what, this relationship, but no soul is meant to be in a box anyways. But this journey certainly isn't about it. I can guarantee you that. So I'm going to make this short now. It's 15 minutes. Hopefully it'll go up on the channel. God bless you. If you want to reach out to me, you can catch me on Fiverr at Soul Sister Wisdom, and you can write me there and inquire. But honestly, if you want to book a session with me, the difference being is that you get to put a thing up there and a Fiverr thing, which helps the business grow there. But ultimately, you pay fees, I pay fees. And so I just take that discount and apply it to you if you book with me directly. And I have all only 5-star gigs there, and I'm very proud of the work that I do there, and I attract some absolutely amazing souls there. So in addition, you can find me at, I just did a live in here this morning. It's groups, facebook.com, groups/RiseAwake with Diane. And that's a community that you can join me at. It's just a feel-good soul food for the soulful place community that I'm growing. I'm combining wisdom of the Akashics, my Rise Awake, which is really coming from raising the consciousness on the earth, waking up people, coming up out of our sleep, our sheeple, which is a lot of people that want to stay asleep through life's problems right now. A lot of it, if you're programmed by the news and stuff like that, they like people to be asleep and programmable. So you just believe everything they say. And I talk openly about that stuff. And you can reach out to me there or private message me. And if you have any questions or you do want to do any sessions with me, but God bless you guys. Thank you very much for coming to the channel. Thank you for, all your visits over the years, and namaste. Have a beautiful day.